Hello, everyone.
Hey, parents. Some kids out there watching.
That's right. Hey, Miss Shuffy, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you ever get stressed out?
Yeah.
You do?
Sometimes I do.
What stresses you out?
Being late.
Oh, I do that one a lot.
I don't like being late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not at all.
So what do you do to help you feel better?
Well, I try to make sure that I leave a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
That way, if something happens, I get to where I'm going on time.
Ooh.
And then I'm not stressed out because I was late.
So you're planning ahead.
I am.
That
I do.
is excellent.
Thanks. What about you?
Oh, I was afraid you'd ask. Lots of things stress me out. I get stressed out if I have too many decisions to make in a day. Because then I just go
to that.
Yeah. Yes, she's seen it. And then I'm like, I don't know what to do. But you know what I do to feel better?
What?
I love to read and I love to cross stitch. And I'm going to be honest here. I love to build Legos. Any of those things cheer me up. Or play with my niece or grandbabies. That cheers me up too.
Yeah, I like to read too. That relaxes me.
It does.
And I like
too.
to sit out by water. I love water.
Me too. And I love the kids here. They make me happy too. They're
Same.
a hoot. Speaking of,
I think we should talk to some of them.
let's do that. I wonder if the kids get stressed out here and what they do about it.
Let's go
Or the staff.
Let's go talk to them.
Live at West Fannin, we're going to go on a mission to find out what stresses people out here and what they do to feel better. Stay tuned. What stresses you out?
When my brother picks on me.
I get it. And what do you do to feel better when you're stressed out?
Close my eyes and breathe in and out.
Very good. Thank you. What stresses you out?
I guess when something's too hard.
That's a good answer. And what do you do to feel better when you're stressed out?
Either hug a stuffed animal kitty or a kitty, a real kitty.
So cats are your thing. Excellent. Thank you. What stresses you out?
Sick leave.
That's a fair answer for her. And what do you do to make yourself feel better when it stresses you out?
Eat chocolate.
Very good. Eat chocolate. Stresses you out.
Stressing me out is being away from my family, and all of my family are important to me.
So you get stressed when you're away from your family? And when you get stressed, what do you do that makes you feel better?
When I have a big warm home for my family.
Aw, warm hugs.
Excellent. What stresses you out?
Like when I'm under pressure. Because when I'm under pressure, I start to go fast and then I mess it up.
That makes sense. And what do you do to feel better when you're stressed out?
I just kind of go slower and I have to tell myself it's fine.
Very good. Thank you. All right, what stresses you out?
What stresses me out? Oh goodness. I guess it's worried about children's safety. That's my primary concern, and making sure that we are doing everything that we can to make sure that the kiddos are safe, and making sure that they're enjoying school at the same time as we're keeping them safe.
That's a hard thing right now. She's got a hard job. All right, so what do you do when you're stressed out to make yourself feel better?
I've been trying to just take a walk outside, enjoy some calming music, and just walking and taking some self-time.
Great. All right, what stresses you out?
My sister, whenever she pokes me in the eye.
Your sister, huh? So what do you do to make yourself feel better when your sister does
I
that?
go to my room and have some alone time.
Alone time.
Very good.
Very important.
Reed, what stresses you out?
What stresses me out? Well, sometimes whenever I'm in class, I'm doing my written response and all, and I have to get my written response done because I don't want to get a bad grade, but then I have to come to the news, so I have to do the news really fast so I can get back to my written response before class is over.
Got it. So getting interrupted doing your work. So when you are stressed out, what do you do to feel better?
I think it's going to be okay. I can finish this. I can do this. I can get through it. I just go and do what I need to do, and whenever I get back, I'm like, I come back and I'm like, I can do this. And there's like 3 minutes before class is over, so I just do it. I do it really fast, and I'm like, hey, I can get this done. And I just believe in myself the whole time.
Excellent. Positive thoughts and believing in yourself. Great job.
Yeah.
What stresses you out?
Work.
Like schoolwork? Okay. And what do you do when you're stressed out to make yourself feel better?
Play with things, like my hands or like slime.
Like a fidget toy? Very cool. Great job.
All right, what stresses you out?
Reading.
Reading?
I don't like reading.
You
I'm
don't
a math
like
person.
reading. That's good. So what do you do to make yourself feel better about reading? Because you still have to do reading, right? What do you do?
Well, usually I find the math in reading.
Oh,
It usually calms me down, and I read things that I like about reading. That big passages, just I don't like them.
so you try to like make it less so you can do it all at one time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Excellent. What stresses you out?
When I don't get something right.
Fair enough. And what do you do to make yourself feel better if you get stressed because you get something wrong?
I take deep breaths.
Deep breathing.
Very good.
Very good.
What stresses you out?
Deadlines. Deadlines stress me out.
Yes. And what do you do when you're stressed out to feel better?
Yoga and Pilates.
Yoga and Pilates. Very good answer. Thank you so much. What stresses you out?
Brothers.
Your brothers stress you out. We get that answer a lot. What do you do when you're stressed out to feel better?
Scream in a pillow.
Okay, very good. Does that help?
Yeah.
Excellent.
What stresses you out?
My sister's getting into my stuff.
That would stress me out too. So what do you do to make yourself feel better when this happens?
I go outside, I watch TV, or I play alone.
Great stress relievers.
Miss Morgan, what stresses you out?
I get stressed out when I am responsible for something, but I don't really understand what is required, and I'm confused about what the expectations are. That causes me anxiety.
I can identify with that. So when you are feeling stressed out, what do you do to feel better?
I usually try to walk away from the task for a few minutes and think about something else and try to get a different perspective, and then I feel better because it's not like it's this terrible monster of a task that I've got to accomplish. And then I'll go back and ask some clarifying questions to find out what exactly is my part in this responsibility. And then I feel like I can come up with a plan to tackle that task, and then I feel much better.
Great, that is something the kids could do when they get overwhelmed with homework too,
That's
isn't
true.
it?
Sometimes take a break, walk away from it, ask some questions of your parents or maybe a friend or even your teacher, and work on it the next day if you can.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi everyone. Hi. We are going to do a presentation today for you on stress management at home, helping your kids and yourselves manage stress. I will be doing that, and Miss Shofi here.
I will be doing a small portion about reading and why it's important at home, and also some things on attendance. So let's get started.
Perfect. All right. You guys saw a video that there was some really great ideas in, but here are some other stress relievers that we thought of. Taking a break. You heard several people in the video say that they would take a break and do something. Talking to someone that you trust. Several kids said they would go to a parent. Doing something that makes you laugh or smile. That's always great. It gets your mindset back to being happier and more positive. That way, you know, we don't make good choices when we are stressed out. So that will help you to go back in with a clearer mind. Deep breathing. We're going to be talking more about that in the next few slides. Positive thoughts and positive self-talk. We are also going to be talking more about that. I did hear some people in videos say that I would tell myself I can do this and I believe in myself. That's a great example of that. Playing with an animal or a stuffed animal. If you don't have a pet, you can do a stuffed animal. We have a lot of stuffed animals here that bring comfort for the kids at school. Exercising, such as taking a walk. Miss Danner said she liked to take a walk, and I remember Miss Art saying she loves to do yoga and Pilates, which is also very relaxing. Let's see, also doing other relaxing activities, creative things like coloring, music. If you play music, great. If not, listening to music that relaxes you, drawing, any craft that you enjoy, reading a book, anything like that is great to help you relax. Getting a hug from someone you trust, like a parent. Healthy alone time, that is something that I've been teaching the kids about lately. I've been teaching them that there is a difference between being alone and being lonely, because they think when someone's alone that they're lonely and sad, but they're not always. There is healthy alone time where maybe I'm taking a break, especially when you're around people all the time. You might need that time to recharge, like I tell them like a cell phone recharges or a Chromebook. We need to recharge our brains and our bodies. And so a lot of times it's good to just go by yourself and do something and have a little quiet time. And that's healthy alone time. And we also have some really cool sensory toys. Miss Shelby's gonna bring some in and show them to you. This here is a weighted blanket. It's about 3 pounds. And this is a weighted stuffed puppy. It says it's 3 pounds. I'm pretty sure it is heavier than that. And a lot of times kids that are either stressed out or just wiggly and can't sit still, if we give them one of these things, it helps them to feel better. It's kind of comforting, like something's sitting on your lap. And we tell them, you know, you have to be still or the puppy will get away. So those are some great little weighted things. I found all of these things on Amazon, just so you know. Miss Shuffy has a few others. That is
This one's cool.
Oh yeah, it's an Orby stress ball. I think it's her favorite.
It is.
This is a Tangle toy. I have several of these here. I do check these out to students and teachers. I have a marble mesh right here. It's just a sewn together mesh tube with a marble in it, and you just can, you know, fidget with it. You just push it back and forth. I do this a lot when I'm on the phone. And I didn't show you this earlier, but this is a great, really cool ball that you can actually combine with deep breathing. So you can breathe in, breathe out. The kids really like doing that too. It gives them a reason to something visual to focus on when they're breathing. Other things, there's these bubble pop things. The kids are really into these. You just push the bubbles from one side to the other. It's easier to do it when it's laying down. And then I have obviously little fidget video game controller looking things that they have little buttons and spinny things and all kinds of stuff on here. So those are some cool things that just gives them something to do if they need to relax a little bit. All right, one of the first things I want to teach you about is worry time. If you have a child who is a worrier and they worry a lot and they have a hard time getting things off their mind, it is a really good idea to set up a worry time for them. And sometimes I do that here at school with the kids. They might have, you know, every day at 7:45, they can come and tell me what they're worried about that day, and then we get it out of the way, and it's only for 10 minutes. Or you might do 6 o'clock to 6:15 at night. Every night you can sit down and talk about their worries, but outside of that time, they're supposed to push them away. They can either put them away on paper, or they can just try to push it away in their mind, but they can only talk about it during that time. Sometimes that teaches them to control it a little bit better. There is a really good video on how to make a worry box so that anytime something comes up outside of the time frame, you put it in the box to get rid of it. And you can even make the box have teeth where it's eating the worries. Sometimes I'll have them put it in a 2-liter bottle that's empty, and I'll tell them to leave it in my office, and I take care of it. That way it's not in their head anymore. Things like that. I've got a link at the end of the presentation for the worry box, so that's something that you can look at and see if you're interested in it. But that just teaches them to kind of learn to push it aside and deal with it at the time that's called for dealing with it. There's something. Positive thoughts. Some of us are not wired to think positively. Some of us have an easier time of it. It's kind of like being right-handed or left-handed is what I think about. You're either positive-minded or negative-minded. And we all have times where we're negative-minded, but we have to practice this skill. It's a skill to learn to think positive thoughts. So every day you can train your child to look at positive things and tell them every night or every day after school, I want you to tell me 3 to 5. You can come up with what number works for you. 3 to 5 positive things that happened that day, something that was good. If you do that every day with them, they will start actually looking for them because they'll be like, oh my gosh, they're going to ask me what was good today. So they're going to start looking and noticing the good things more, because good and bad things happen every day. It just depends on what we choose to focus on. And some of us focus on the negative without meaning to, and we just need to train our brains. You can also, when they're upset, after you've talked about what's upsetting them, have them talk about 3 good things that they have in their life, just to get them back on the gratitude track. It's actually, I think, research proven that if you cannot feel grateful and angry at the same time, it's very hard to do. So if you can get them looking at the good things they have in their life again, it will help take that stress and anger away. So allow them to calm down first, because at the time they're going to be like, nothing's good. But if you give them a time to calm down, then they can do it. It might be hard for them at first, but as you practice, you might have to help them at first. And bedtime is a great time to review their day and talk about the good things that they had happen that day, so that they can actually be in a good mindset to sleep well. That's something else we do. Mindfulness is something we've been teaching a lot at the school. It's really just being aware of right now, yourself, what's around you, and staying in the present. Because a lot of times the past causes us to worry. We might look back on something that happened and it bothers us and we can't let it go. Or something coming up, like a test coming up, will cause us anxiety or stress. So we try to focus on right now. And what I do when I teach mindfulness is just teach them breathing exercises, and I teach them those positive self-talk things. There is a story I read to the whole school called Right Now I Am Fine, and I have attached it at the link at the end too, where it teaches you that no matter what else is going on, right now, I'm fine. Right now, no matter what's going on in my life, I'm sitting here and I'm doing this video, so I'm okay. And you can remind yourself, right now, I am fine. Or, like, I can't do this yet. You can add yet to it. And that helps you know that right now, I may not be able to do it, but with practice, I'll get there. So just some little tricks for your mind that helps you to focus on the more positive things and focus on what's going on right now to help you learn to control those worries a little bit. Breathing exercises are very important in mindfulness. Yoga. The kids have a lot of yoga things they do in their classrooms on YouTube. I have links at the end for that. Movement, guided imagery. That's when you have them do a breathing exercise and they think about things. You tell them what to think about. Like, imagine you're a cloud and you're floating in the sky. What do you see when you look down? That thing. And they just picture it all with some relaxing music. That's a great thing. And my favorite thing to help kids when they are very upset, especially if they are really upset in the moment, like very stressed out, very upset, very angry, is to focus on the 5 senses. So what I do when someone is really upset like that is I'll tell them, just time out for a minute and tell me 5 things right now that you can see. And I'm like, just humor me, just do it. And so they'll name 5 things they can see. Then you do 4 things they can hear, 3 things they can touch, 2 things they can smell, 1 thing they can taste. And then by the time they're done with that, they're focused so much on what's going on right now around them that they're calmed down a little bit more. It works every time. I've even used this with teenagers. And I even had one girl say to me one time after she did the 3 things she could touch, she said, is this a game or something? Because it's working. And I said, well, it's not really a game, but it is a tool that you can use on your own when you need it. So it really does work. And I use it myself because sometimes we're just thinking about stuff that's nowhere near us and we're just almost to the point of panicking, and that helps you bring you back to the right here and right now. So that is another thing we focus on here at school that would be helpful to do at home. Okay, here's our resource page. Like promised, the worry box instructions are up there. There's also a 3-minute body scan. I didn't talk about that, but in mindfulness, that teaches you to pay attention to what parts of your body are feeling tension and learn to relax them. We use that at school. Sometimes you can do it at home. I've got some YouTube channels listed here that will help with stress for children. We use a lot of these here at school. Go Noodle. It's got fun dances, yoga, different things on it. Jack Hartman, he's educational. Singing videos. Cosmic Kids, she reenacts Disney stories with yoga routines, and it's really cool. I think the kids would love that. There are some apps that I've got listed here. I listed the ones that are free or have free versions of them. Calm, Smiling Mind, and Mind Yeti. There are many other that you can look for yourself, but they have little guided imageries to help you relax. I also included 2 books that I use a lot for worries, and it's me reading the books, but it's A Worry Says What and Right Now I Am Fine, which I talked about. I use both of these in lessons. And then I have a breathing exercise that I did on a video, and I have a guided imagery about breathing positivity that I uploaded on there too, if you're interested. And that is it for me. So all these little tricks, you know, it's really heartwarming to know when we were interviewing the kids, most of the things that they talked about were things we have talked about in class. So they do listen, and they do really try to help themselves. So we just got to learn to support them and keep them going in the right direction. Miss Sophie, what have you got for us?
I have a little bit about reading.
Okay.
We did see that reading does help some people feel better, but when your child asks, "I really have to read 20 minutes tonight? Why do I have to read 20 minutes?" This is a great example of why. So what you can see here is we've got 3 different students. One reads their 20 minutes, one only reads 5, and one reads 1. Well, the difference is how many words per year they're going to hear. 1.8 million, 282,000, and 8,000. I know.
It's a big difference.
This is how many hours they will have read by 6th grade, which is really important. That's a lot more hours if they're spending their 20 minutes reading. But probably the most important part of this is how they score on standardized tests. So students that read 20 minutes at home, and this is reading at home, not just reading here, this is extra reading at home for 20 minutes, they score 90 percentile of their peers if they spend that 20 minutes reading.
That's a great score.
I know. Compared to somebody that reads 5 minutes a day is in the 50th percentile. Somebody that only reads at home 1 minute a day, the 10th percentile. So, go back. Thank you. So it's really important. The other thing I want to talk to you about is absences, because a lot of parents don't know, well, when is an absence a problem? Like, what's chronic absenteeism? Well, good attendance is 9 or fewer absences, and we kind of base this on 9 months, so that's once a month. Warning signs for students comes between 10 and 17 days, but your chronic absenteeism is 18 or more days. Well, that's only 3 days a month. So, you get the flu. I mean, how long do students miss with the flu?
Usually at least a week.
So right there's 5 days. So it's really important to stay. If you want to stay here, that is the most important thing to do. We know right now with everything going on, if they're sick, keep them home. But if they're not sick, we want you to make sure they're here. And this one I included because I want you guys to know how important it is for them if they're missing the same class every day, or they're a little bit late every day, or they have an orthodontist appointment or certain doctor's appointments. You want to make sure you space those out and you're not always taking them out of the same class at the same time, because then they're missing that portion of instruction and that portion only. So I won't go through all this, but it pretty much just tells you if they're missing 10 minutes a day, only 10, which we can't really get to an appointment in 10 minutes, but let's say you run late in the mornings. If you're only 10 minutes late, they're going to miss 50 minutes of instruction for that week in that class. So it's really important. But like an hour, if you have to take them out for an hour for an appointment, that's a day a week. So it's really important that you guys think about not just being absent, but also maybe being late or having appointments. All right. We are going to include actually this whole presentation. We're going to give you a link to, so that you'll have the presentation and you can refer back to it. So we've had a good time doing this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you.
If you need anything, give us a call.